do want to discuss is and help me, and I wanted you to help me define this because this was kind of hard. I felt like this was gonna be hard to explain, but it might not be. I
Super.
wanted
That's expialidocious.
no, but
Even though the sound of it is something quite precocious.
is this a song?
If you say it loud enough, I can't remember the rest of the words.
Who is this?
Yeah, it's from Mary Poppins. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's yeah.
All right,
Mary.
well, I will say it's not Mary Poppins. I'm referring to. I'm referring to NFL teams who are in a pinch. Now, you're going to understand what I mean in a second because we've talked about this in the podcast before, but never have really given these teams a title.
Yeah.
Or a label or a name or whatever. And it's teams who
like the Bills.
I mean, that's what I was going to ask you. I was going to ask you to give me who you would consider teams in a pinch first, but these are teams that just might be stuck in certain scenarios. Like, okay, you got teams who are at the top and have future and hope and promise. You got teams who are at the bottom of the barrel and need serious help. But then you got those teams in the middle who play just good enough to not get a great draft pick, or they play just bad enough to just those teams in that gray area in the middle that might slide into the playoffs, but it's weird. So I want to ask you about NFL teams in a pinch. If these teams are in a pinch, and if you possibly think there's a team in the biggest pinch. So the biggest one, not the biggest one, but the first one, and one that I thought of that might be in a pinch for a different reason, and you may think it's odd for a second when I say it, but it's the Jets.
The Jets are 1,000% in a pinch.
Okay.
You got a fucking guy who's 40 years old.
Thank you.
You don't have 7 more years left.
The Rodgers.
You got a shit dick coach.
The Rodgers window. I don't know.
Figure it out.
The Rodgers window could be 4 to 5 years. It could be 1 to 2 years.
It's probably 2. 3.
I'd say he plays 3 to 4 more years.
Depending on if he wins a Super Bowl. If he wins one, I don't know if he'll come back.
He's out.
I hope. We need to start seeing this. I want to see guys ride off into the sunset.
Tom played 2
Maybe
more years.
Patrick Mahomes will win next year, and then he'll just quit football. That'd be nice.
Tom played 2 more years after his last.
I know.
Bowl, so
not needed.
I think
he was 44. Not needed to play more football.
I think Aaron Rodgers will probably play.
He did figure out his wife was a fucking not cool person.
See, but that's the thing, though.
And now she's got like a Hulu show where she's on there crying to some lady.
You can be the best Super Bowl of all time, have 7 Super Bowls, have all the money in the world, look like Tom Brady, and you will still get cheated on.
He didn't get cheated on. Maybe, I don't know.
Bro was
the timeline is spiffy.
No.
But
bro was getting cheated on. I promise you.
Yeah,
bro was getting cheated on.
Either of them. They're both fucking. Who cares?
It is. Oh, I thought you had something.
No, I'm just saying. Stop calling guys cute, dude. That's all. That's all I want.
Me?
Yeah, dude.
What?
You're calling him cute. You call Tom Brady cute.
I think you're afraid to look gay. Like, I obviously love women, but I'm not gonna. No, but okay.
I'm kidding, dude. No, we're done.
No, I know you're kidding. But I'm gonna jokingly defend myself. Yeah, we can objectively say whether one guy is uglier than another.
Yeah, no.
Without being homosexual.
Oh. All right. Next topic. Next team, the Bills. The Bills are in a pinch. The Bills are in a pinch if they're keeping Diggs. If they're not keeping Diggs, then restart that whole team, make it better. If they're keeping Diggs, then
really?
Yeah, you gotta
I think the Bills are in a pinch simply because of that situation, but I think they're in a pinch whether or not. I mean, now we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, I think if they go into a full rebuild, they'll be good in 2 or 3 years, and then make an AFC Championship and lose.
I don't know if that's the goal, though.
No, it's not the goal, but their ceiling.
I think I think the Bills are in a pinch right now with what to do, but in the grand scheme of things, to me, they are one of those teams that I would consider at the top and have hope and promise. But
Yeah.
I could see them being in a pinch for certain situations. I could see them being in a
Yeah.
pinch for questioning the Stephon Diggs, what they're gonna do with Diggs and the defense, and is Josh. See, the thing about quarterbacks are so weird because they put like 90% of winning games on a quarterback, and you can be like a top 5 quarterback, and we all know deep down inside you're never gonna be able to get it done in the playoffs, and the Bills are still gonna have to ride with him and build around him no matter what. And I feel
Yeah.
like it's inevitable that the Bills are going to lose.
I mean, I would like to see them win at some point, but yeah, they'll probably lose as long as the Chiefs have their thing going on.
I don't want to see Josh Allen win. I don't want to see the Bills win shit.
I like Josh
I see Josh Allen flop a lot more than I see him try to win football games. So, I
Allen.
would say that I don't want to see the Bills win. But Jacksonville,
Garbage.
you just got shitted on. You got.
I didn't get shitted on.
You
The guy
got,
was living in a dimension.
You got shitted on for questioning the Jags, but I think the Jags might be in a pinch. I don't think they suck.
They're in a pinch. They stink.
The Jags
but Trevor Lawrence is fucking 12 years old. He'll be on this team for a little while. They're fine.
Look, I don't think the Jags suck. But
I don't think they're good.
The Jags have something that
up Mac Jones. What the fuck does that even mean?
The Jags have something that I want to call dwindling promise.
What do you got? Terms now?
Yeah, I love.
They also got the brother of a guy who just got a DUI.
Why the fuck does that matter? I think they have dwindling promise, and what I mean by that is, like Trevor Lawrence.
They picked up Gabe Davis.
They picked up Devin Duvernay. Hey now.
Whoa.
Hey now, they're making moves.
Stock's back on.
But no, listen. Like Trevor Lawrence he's just like Josh Allen or Justin Herbert. Like he's this guy with amazing talent. Joe Burrow, which I never know
Joe Burrow's in that list, but with less talent.
I never know how you feel about Joe Burrow.
Joe honestly is the least talented out of those 3 quarterbacks. Guaranteed.
You really think so?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, I genuinely think so, yes.
So Herbert, Burrow,
and Allen. Yeah.
What about
all have more talent.
What about Lawrence?
Lawrence.
So out of the 4 quarterbacks total.
Out of the 4, Herbert, Lawrence, and Allen, those 3 have more talent than Burrow.
What about Lamar?
I totally believe that. Lamar is obviously talented across the board.
I think know.
Arm talent-wise, he's better than Burrow still.
I don't know, bro.
Maybe.
I don't know. As a Ravens fan, like I said, it's hard to really
I know. So then now everyone has to listen to my take on them. Those 3 guys are more talented than Burrow. Burrow stinks.
All right. But Jacksonville has dwindling hope.
He smells.
Like I was saying, they're hyped up every year. Trevor Lawrence is hyped up every single year, and deservingly so.
It's only been a few years.
Since 2020, about 3 or 4 years,
2021.
Really?
Burrow was 2020.
Was he not drafted on the boat?
No, they were both number 1s. Burrow was 1 in 2020.
Okay.
On the boat.
Either way.
Trevor
Lawrence is gassed up to the max. Deservingly so.
Kinda. Yeah, well, yeah, he deserves it.
But the thing that sucks is, like, as their promise dwindles, Houston is rising to the absolute AFC South top.
Yeah.
And the fact that there was a time where we shitted on the AFC South and said that it was easy to win if you're the only,
it was.
It was easy to win. And Jacksonville, before last season, I want to say we were pretty sure they had it on lock.
Yeah.
And then something happened, which was Houston going absolutely nuts, that made us
Well,
rethink that.
Jacksonville could have won, but they decided to lose the last 4 or 5 games of the season. Something terrible. And then they smidged out a win against the Colts, and they won their division. But I do think that they're the most talented team of those three at the moment,
Which team?
at least on offense.
Who?
The Texans.
The Texans. Okay, yeah. I was not gonna lie. I was in my brain getting ready for an argument because I thought you were saying Jacksonville. But yes, Houston right now. Yeah, no, 100%. But Jacksonville, I would say, is in a pinch in a different reason than like New York, but they are in a pinch.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay.
To stop playing football.
Tampa Bay. I feel like
Kind
we're
of.
going over every different type of pinch.
This is like, but this, I don't know. I feel like now Tampa just gets to. I mean, Baker has a contract. Take it. Fucking don't
Baker,
even. Just try your hardest. But if you don't win, you don't win.
like,
You're getting paid,
like Tampa might win the division. They might win a playoff game, but that's about as far as they're gonna go.
which is fine.
And if they're okay with that, if they have accepted that, maybe they're not in a pinch. But
They're like a Florida type of pinch, dude. They're chilling.
what they did was they got Tom Brady and they got a super team and they fucking won a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But like we just talked about, they lost their 2 seasons with Tom Brady. And
Yeah.
because they just won that Super Bowl, weren't that upset about it.
No.
So I think if Baker just continues to make the playoffs and
Maybe
they win a playoff game maybe or just are really competitive.
they beat the Eagles this year.
They did.
That's awesome.
But what I'm saying is
Awesome.
the only reason I'm considering them being in a pinch is because, like I said, they just signed Baker to this extension, and we know Baker's ceiling. They
Yeah.
just re-signed Mike Evans, and it's how much left do you really have of Mike Evans is the question.
He signed for 2 years, but it was a ton of money.
If Mike Evans balls out next year, if Baker proves why he got that, if Baker proves why that deal was worth it, they're not in a pinch. But the fact that they're banking on an older receiver and a middle of the pack quarterback, I believe, I feel like, definition's sake, you got to put them as a team in a pinch.
Yep.
The only thing that's keeping them considerably out of a pinch is the fact that they're in a pretty easy division.
Yes.
If they're in the
Well,
fucking AFC North, they're screwed.
it's getting tougher down there.
It's getting tougher. Kirk is putting the pressure on Atlanta, but Carolina, are we really the Saints?
No, that's not even a fucking no.
Are we worried about them? Which, speaking of
Is there another
Carolina,
team in that division? What do we have to talk about Carolina for?
I want to ask you if Carolina's in a pinch. And
No.
like I said, we're going over every single type of pinch. You got the team in a pinch that has only such a small window to win a Super Bowl. You got a team that's in a pinch that had hope, but now it's dwindling and they got other teams in their division rising. You got a team that is banking on, middle of the road talent and an aging receiver. And now you got a team who has a guy that they thought was a franchise guy, QB1 Bryce Young, already getting doubted after one season in the NFL. Is Carolina in a pinch? I think they are.
Sure. Thanks.
I think they are. They did exactly what Chicago did. They loaded up. Everybody got excited. They drafted Bryce.
Yep.
And they shit the bed.
Yeah, they suck.
And I'm not saying I think Chicago's going to do the same thing, but
I hope.
The fact that Carolina built this team around their next quarterback, And you got to think about it like this. You see Chicago doing all this shit to prepare for Caleb Williams being their quarterback. So we should expect Caleb Williams, who is as talented as we're supposed to believe he is, should be able to work with Keenan Allen and fucking DeAndre Swift and DJ Moore. Like, he should be able to cook with them, right?
Yep,
We're going
I
to be
hope so.
shocked if he's not. Going into last season, we were saying Bryce should be able to cook with
Yeah,
Adam Thielen and Hayden Hurst and Miles Sanders.
I know.
He
It's a
didn't.
similar squad.
He didn't cook. Now,
No,
Caleb Williams is looking at better options. Even though you said it was a similar squad, I think there are some differences.
I know, but in like the terms of like the setup, the makeup of this team.
Yes, the
Young
scenario.
running back, a little bit of an older receiver, kind of a tight end. DJ Moore's good. I don't know.
But Carolina, I would say, for the fact that 365 days ago, a little less than, because let's say they already have Bryce. They were very hopeful. They were in
Yeah.
the NFC South, and I bet you were pretty convinced they could win it.
Maybe.
And they are almost right back where they were last year.
They're in a worse situation because they don't have a first overall.
So it's like, to me, that's kind of a team in a fucking pinch. Because you had this promise, and it's already, and I know this is very premature, but it's already seemingly kind of falling apart. It's kind of
What?
seeming to fall apart.
Carolina?
Like I'm saying, like Bryce really has 1 or 2 more years. We
Yeah.
just saw what happened with Chicago and Justin Fields. Bryce has 1 or 2 more years.
Maybe.
That's what's sad. It's sad.
Yeah. It's not sad. They suck.
No, it's sad because if Chicago did this,
No, he's an NFL quarterback. He
No.
signed a
no,
$1 million bonus.
no,
It's not sad.
no, it's sad. It's sad for the sake of it's sad because
That's for the Panthers.
if Chicago did this for Justin Fields, the same shit they're doing for Caleb Williams, they wouldn't be drafting first overall.
Probably not.
Maybe 9th, but not first. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, they could have won 6 games.
they could have won a couple more. They could have won a couple more games.
Yeah.
How about Arizona?
AIDS.
Whoa.
I don't even want to look over there. It's scary. I was hearing that Kyler might get traded. He might go to Minnesota.
So this is another. I hate to sound like a broken record, but this is another pinch scenario to me. Arizona is in this situation where this is a situation that Carolina can be in a few years. They either continue to try to build around this quarterback and they say, like, no, we can get it done. Like, we can do this. Because, and I might be a little biased, I think you can build a playoff team around Kyler.
Maybe.
I think Kyler is talented. I like Kyler Murray. I think he's up there. He was up there.
He was.
I like Kyler Murray. And I think you can build a team around Kyler Murray. But I don't know if Arizona can build a team around Kyler Murray. But with that thought, if Arizona goes on to try to build a team around Kyler Murray, they're in a pinch.
Yeah.
Because and the full scenario is either we stick with Kyler Murray and we have to try to build around him again, or it's a total rebuild. Now, once you're in total rebuild mode, I don't consider you in a pinch because you're just a team in total rebuild mode. But when you're in a crossroads of, do we try again or do we just fail?
Trade him.
You know, what do you do?
They got rid of their receiver, Marquise. D-Hop has been gone.
You're saying
they're going to trade
this offseason?
Yeah.
You think Kyler Murray is on another team before the next year starts?
Yes. I hope.
Do you want to see Kyler do better, or are you just saying you want him at Arizona?
Both.
Kyler and Jettas?
But yeah,
I'm
possible.
kind of
Better than
I'm
fucking Sam Arnold.
I'm kind of pushing for that. I love that. Kyler Murray to Minnesota would be one of the
It'd be
best
cool.
things that could happen in his career.
It would be good. Yeah.
I would love that. But and
Yeah.
then I wrote down two teams with no explanation, but I wanted to ask you if you thought they were in a pinch. Miami Dolphins.
Yes.
Why?
Uh, I mean, you got to get things done before you start doing brain surgery. So, yeah, if they don't win one, it's going to be tough to win one in the future. Um, I mean, that guy was told to retire. He said no. They still suck. They're in a pinch.
I think any how do I word this? I think any team that like we talked about Justin Herbert or whatever, like any team that has a quarterback that they believe in, but year in and year out, it seems like everybody else kind of agrees they can't get the job done. Technically, you could say they're in a pinch.
Yes.
But I will say, and if you want to come back and you are completely out of frame, if you want to say,
Yes.
my thing is, and this is not even look, I know I hate on Tyreek, but I'm not saying I'm only saying this because I hate on Tyreek. But A, the man can't stay out of trouble.
I know, but it's never taken him out of the league.
Okay, but here's the thing. Don't you think it's almost worse that he keeps getting away with it?
Yeah, I know,
That
but he's
it could event, and I'm not saying that
it
this
doesn't
is
affect the team.
I'm not saying this is what I think is causing him to be in the pinch, but I do think that the more he gets away with the shit, the more he's gonna think he's invincible
Yeah.
and can get away with anything. But I will also say that they're banking on this Tua thing, which I think it's worse than 50-50. I think it's like 70% doubtful, 30% believe in him.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I don't even know if do the Dolphins have fans?
See the Dolphins have fans, but when I talk to I want to talk to a Dolphins fan and ask them. I want to ask a truthful and honest Dolphins fan how they feel about Tua. I would love to know.
Yeah.
You know,
It's weird.
okay, like for example, like the like we've been talking about the Houston clip that's been popping. We got
Yeah.
people who are commenting as Texans fans that are like, a, they understand our doubts and our the negatives and the positives in the Houston Texans. And then you got people who might be like, "Are you serious? Like, how could you really think this?" I want a Miami fan that is honest and tell me like, how do you really feel about Tua?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know what it would be. I don't know how. I don't know how it would go. But also, I mean, you got to
Rational.
remember Tyreek made that comment when he said, I want to go to Miami, get that guarantee money, and retire
He
at 30.
he went for a bag. Yeah.
Remember, he said he wanted to retire at 30. How old
Yeah.
is Tyreek Hill? He's 30. So bro's
Yeah.
got what, two? I mean, he's already past the age he said he wants to retire. So let's say 2 or 3 more years. Maybe.
Well, no, I mean he can still retire at 30 at the end of the year.
Sure, he could, but is he? I'm not completely sure. So I do think that puts Miami in a pinch. And the final team is Dallas.
Yeah, this is Dak's on a contract year, and yeah, if they don't do anything this year, then Dak's gone.
So we talked about this last episode about how Dallas has done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I will say this. They are in a pinch solely because they are the Dallas Cowboys.
Well, no, also because they've got a fucking. I mean, when Dak was young, we weren't looking at them like, hey, they need to win now. But now Dak's fucking old, hasn't shown that he's able to win in the playoffs, and now they need to win. Otherwise, he's gone.
But the reason I say that is because every single year, no matter what, Dallas Cowboys are going to win the Super Bowl in the Dallas Cowboys' eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know if any other team that has a decent quarterback on a contract year and their best receiver on a contract year, if we'd be like, yeah, they're in a pinch, like they're screwed, because they might not have the same expectations as the Dallas Cowboys have. Because no matter what the talent level is on the Dallas Cowboys roster, their expectations are being Super Bowl bound.
Yes.
So, and I'm not saying I disagree with them being in a pinch. I'm saying this was my thought process on whether or not to consider them a pinch. Because if they were any other team with this same scenario, I don't know if they would even have the same expectations that people have or that Cowboys fans have for the Cowboys every year, or that Jerry Jones has for the Cowboys every year, which is a Super Bowl. And they
Yeah.
can't even win a fucking playoff game. So
They can't win a playoff game, though.
I just I don't know. I think Dallas is in a pinch for the sake of, like you said, they got Dak on a contract year. They got CD on a contract year. We're looking at Dallas being in a complete rebuild next year, which is kind of similar to Arizona, which is, do we keep building around this quarterback or do we go in a total rebuild? So, yeah, I'll agree with you. They're in a pinch. Dallas is in a pinch for sure.
Yeah.